treason if chosen name is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, bag on flip. Had Biden done it, full numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
Proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. 'Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
Welcome back, finally, to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Everything before that was simply technical difficulties that I went through, and then that last little bit of me not being able to be heard, that was just my being stupid. But welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio here, talk from the left, that's right. Host Dan Zimmerman coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. Join the conversation. We will open up the phone lines in a little bit, maybe. We'll see how things go. You can also join us in either of the chat rooms at liberaldanradio.com or twitch.liberaldanradio.com. Either way gets you there. Big shout out to 250 Kilo Ohm, who's been subscribed for 6 months at Tier 1 over on Twitch. Thank you for doing that. Remember, you can subscribe on Twitch. You can become a Liberal Danimal on YouTube. You can subscribe on Twitch for free if you have Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you anything. Just got to re-up it every month. And you can also buy bits on Twitch, and you can do super chats, super stickers over on YouTube. Lots of other different ways to support the show. You can Venmo, Liberal Dan on Venmo, or you can buy me a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/LiberalDanRadio, or go to liberaldan.com, click the Buy Me Cider button, or become a Liberal Dan Radio patron, patreon.com/LiberalDan, or patreon.liberaldan.com. Either way gets you there as well. We've already given shouts out to 250 Kilo Ohm, or Villaby also was in the chat earlier in one of the earlier attempts to start the show. Jolie's over on Twitch as well. Thank you, Jolie. Aaron is busy watching Lance Bass on a 30th anniversary of NSYNC or something. And so I had to share my... I said, okay, it's understandable, but then I had to share my Sergeant Lincoln Osiris from Tropic Thunder meme. Lance! What the fuck did I just hear? Lance! And that's that Lance, too. Anyway, so... Erin will be here when she gets here. But we have one half of the best mod squad on the planet in the chat so far. So thank you for joining, Jolie. We got CR, Josh, Roxanne. Steve was here earlier in the other iteration. Molly, it's a joy to see you. Let's see, Big Hook from the Great White North. Trucker John is in the chat. Hey, Trucker John. There's Steve. Steve from across the pond.
It's no Scottish, it's crap.
What else? Who else have I gotten so far? Jackie, and what are you wearing? What are you wearing under your kilt? Steve goes, "A gentleman never tells, Big Hook, and neither do I." A church at every game. Hello over on Twitch to you as well. Notice anything new? I was starting to think that maybe the channels were confused because they're used to seeing the old background for so long, and now you've got the new background, and I want to get your opinions. Hey, it's my wife. Wait, where's NSYNC? I need to switch. That's okay, I understand. I mean, I don't know if it's just Lance Bass or if it's everybody, but you know, I don't know where it's going on. Erin didn't give me this information. She just said that it was there somewhere. You might have to use the Google. I didn't change your design. You didn't design that background. The background I had, this is the background for, let's see, what is the Fat Man Rant one? Nope, that's not that one. Hypocrite of the Week. That's the one. I got that one off of whatever. So I haven't changed this logo right here. The Liberal Dan Radio logo, I haven't changed that yet. That's still on. I just changed the background of it. I'm not changing that design. That design is awesome. That design will stay forever. I just wanted one that kind of matched the colors of your design. So you should just be able to see it on the corner of your screen and in my Venmo logo as well. So there you go. Thank you, Dean, for liking the background. So I also did something somewhat nifty with it. If we go over to the chat page, and there's the chat page. I did want to get your opinions on this because I made this little spinny thing. I probably should move over if I want to have it up there and not be blocked by the chat. Does that look good or does that look stupid? So I don't know. What do you think? Does that little spinny thing on there make it look, oh, it's like radio waves or whatever? It's Liberal Dan Radio and it's spinning and has whatever. Is that good, or is that just kind of distracting and dumb? So I'm also playing around with the chat things. Apparently, I guess it deletes it really quickly. It's set to delete old messages, so we'll see how that goes. But I guess if you have enough ones coming in, whatever. Anyway, put Venmo on. Wait, so put Venmo on bottom. If I put Venmo on bottom, like that, that doesn't. I mean, unless you don't want to see my face, then Venmo being there works well, I guess. But otherwise, I kind of want to have it here. I mean, I could move it somewhere else, I guess. But anyway, thank you, Jolie, for liking the new background. But yeah, so we could also, let's see. Do we also have? Where's the other logo? I guess I haven't put the I guess I could put the logo there somewhere, but you see it here, so I don't know. Anyway, so we were going to have Britt Gandolfi on the show. Apparently she's having internet problems. I wonder if they have Cox Cable up there where she lives as well, up in, I think she's in Ponchatoula, somewhere in Tangipahoa, I think, parish. But she had to postpone, so we may have Britt on Monday. So we will see when that happens, and whatever happens, it happens. But there's definitely some some pettiness going on. And normally I'm down with the petty. Normally I am very petty myself, and I appreciate a good amount of pettiness going on. But you know, apparently the pettiness is stopping progress. Cassie's like, that spitting is going to put everyone to sleep. Well, you know, I could just, you know, move back to my Liberal Dan Radio NPR voice like I did when we were evacuated for Ida, and then you would be guaranteed to be asleep in the first 5 minutes of the show. So, anyway, Tim's in the chat. Good to see you, Tim, and Fred, and Manda, and anyone else that I've missed. I think I said hello to Big Hook already. Steve says it's distracting. Yeah, I'm not sold on it, but I wanted to give I wanted to give the chance. Okay, so I'm going to sleep now. I'm back to my normal, regular, loud, standard, deep voice, and not doing the NPR thing. I don't have anybody to worry about when it comes to keeping them up through air ducts in houses and whatever. So, oh look, Cassie T76 shows up as number 1. Oh, you're always number 1 in my heart, so there you go. Can't force it that way though. Anyway, let's see. Got several things to talk about. If you have not yet seen the 2 Just the Clips that I posted yesterday, and because it's a Just the Clip, we're gonna do Just the Clip. Let's see. We're just going to do Just the Clip on this one, but hold on. Let's get this maximized as well, and we're going to switch over to the alternate so we can then watch both of the Just the Clips. Here's the first one, very short.
When a politician makes an outrageous quip, no commentary needed, it's just a clip.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
When a politician makes an outrageous quip, no commentary needed, it's just a clip.
Well then, let's, you know, stop attacking pedophiles, right?
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Yeah, okay there. Teddy Cruz, you know, I guess we could probably pretty much be sure that he didn't mean to say what he said, but then again, you know, we're attacking Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is protecting pedophiles. So if Donald Trump is protecting pedophiles, then maybe he's one himself, and in my opinion, and as such, maybe he doesn't want us to continue to attack Donald Trump, right? So then, of course... oh, hold on. This has an ad beforehand, unfortunately. So, all right, and we got the second Just the Clip, just in case anybody hasn't seen it yet. We will switch to the number 2. Number 2, it is a number.
Quip, no commentary needed, it's just a clip.
Because we can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are 2 N-words, and you can't use either of them. You can't use either of them. And frankly, if it does get to use, we have more than anybody else. We have better, we have newer, but it's something we don't ever want to even have to think about. But
when a politician makes an outrageous quip, no commentary needed, it's just a clip.
So, we have more N-words than anybody else, huh? Is that what he's saying? What? I mean, he was, contextually speaking, you know, he was actually talking about, he had mentioned nuclear submarines or whatever, nuclear power or whatever. But, yeah, that is a very bizarre way to have that conversation. And it, of course, opens up the door for everybody to make fun of you about, you know, the fact that we have the most N-words, nobody has better N-words, because you know exactly what everybody's going to be thinking. I mean, yes, sure, I'm giving commentary on Just the Clip when there's no commentary needed, but, Yeah, Trump is too woke to say nuclear, but he's probably not woke. I would probably say when he drives, he's probably not too woke to not say the other N-word, but he doesn't drive. So when he's a passenger, he probably shouts out the other N-word all the live long day. So, hey, Fred, good to see you. And Molly, thank you for becoming a liberal Danimal. Appreciate you. So, yeah, that was fun. And, of course, I have these two isolated as well, so now we could always play.
So we can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are two N-words, and you can't use either of them.
And he's upset about both. He's upset that you can't say either. Atrocious at every game. Thank you, median voter, for giving this motherfucker the nuclear codes. Wait, you have to say the N-word codes. You can't say the nuclear codes because otherwise it's a slur, according to Trump, right? Has to be the N-word codes. I remember where I was when he told Kim Jong-un that the nuclear button was bigger. What an effing moron. So, yeah. Yes, please remember to smash that like button and then the patriarchy. We definitely need to get the algorithm up because Al Gore needs more rhythm. So, yeah. Of course, before we had the whole N-word thing, we still have...
I said, well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen.
Yep. We don't want anybody in charge who can't even say the goddamn word acetaminophen. I mean, who doesn't know acetaminophen? I mean, maybe you get, confused between acetaminophen and ibuprofen, but still, yeah, acetaminophen. Well, Cassie, you're such a nerd. You married me. And also,
I like turtles.
Anyway, every time someone mentions Al Gore, I wonder where we would be in SCOTUS. SCOTUS and Screwfus in 2000. Gore would have been a far, far better POTUS than Bush. Clearly would have been a much better POTUS than Bush. And he would have gone after Osama bin Laden because what had happened was it was about December of 2000. And the Clinton administration and the intelligence gathering that was done after the bombing of the USS Cole, they had determined that it was Al-Qaeda led by Osama bin Laden who, was responsible for the bombing of the USS Cole. And the President Clinton and his administration did not want to just hand over a military operation in the midst of the military operation to an incoming president. So what they did is they gave the incoming administration the information that Osama bin Laden was responsible for the attack on the USS Cole and would allow them to deal with it as they would wish to deal with it. They, of course, didn't deal with it. And also the other report that they got, the presidential daily briefing that said that that we were going to be attacked by planes at some point, planes flying into towers specifically, and they, of course, ignored that too. Had we had President Gore would have, they would have not balked at going after Al-Qaeda in December because it's just a seamless passing of the torch of, changing administrations from the Clinton one to the Gore one, and then we would have gone after Osama bin Laden, perhaps taken him out, and then it took us, how long? 10 years to get him or more? Whenever it happened under President Obama, because Bush for 8 years failed to do it. But there's no doubts in my mind that we would have not had 9/11 had Al Gore become the president, simply because of the fact that A, we would have gone after bin Laden in December of 2000, and B, we would have actually dealt with the security threat that was caused by the intelligence showing that that there was a terrorist plot to attack the U.S. with planes. So there you go. Cass, what did I need to watch on Netflix? Tell me and I'll stop harassing you. But I like your harassment. And I like the fact that you're watching the show. But if you look up CUNK, Kunk, on I think it's Earth is no, it's on. I think it's Earth. I think Earth is the TV series and Life is the movie. I do recommend that everybody go watch Kunk on Earth and Kunk on Life because it's freaking hysterical. I think I've watched the first 4 episodes or whatever, but yeah, go watch that. But don't do it now. Do it after the show, unless you're my wife. If you want to, I don't tell my wife what to do. She can do whatever it is she wants to do. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for joining the show. Did no one get the nuke code joke, or was it just too mature? Hold on, Steve. I don't know if you even saw the nuke code joke. Let me scroll up and see it, and see if I can find it. I don't know. Where'd you put it? I don't know. I don't know where. I've completely missed it. I've scrolled back, whatever. So Cyber News said ICE has procured a tool that can use data from social media that can locate phone locations. Interesting. And of course, in the wrong hands, i.e. this administration, that's frickin' terrifying. My wife is so mean to me. If you wanna feel sorry for me for my wife being mean to me, feel free to Venmo me. Then I'll take her out to eat, and she'll be. I'll take her to Fogo, and then she'll be happy. Of course, you know she should be. I did make delicious chicken parmesan yesterday, which was also gluten free, which she liked and has requested me make again, or anything else with a fried chicken or whatever. So. My cooking skills ain't that bad, so get you and me. Just, someone like me, I guess, right? It's a Big Hook. Horrible Histories is pretty good. I guess was on Netflix as well. But no, if you like dry British humor, it's freaking hilarious. There was one comment that was made about the United States during the 1860s, 1870s, or whatever, and what nation we were going to be. And I don't want to ruin the joke, but it was freaking fantastic. So Kunk was oddly funny on Ricky Gervais's show. Interesting. A Trusted Every Game also says we would 100% not have gone into Iraq. What else? Oh, and let's see. Trusted Every Game. I only just learned about the funny business, to put lightly, that took place in Florida with Secretary of State literally in the Bush campaign. So shameful. Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of hard. I mean if you're an elected official who is heavily involved in your party, you're going to probably be involved in the campaign. Although, of course, it doesn't look right to have the person who's running the state election process to also be in charge of the campaign of the individual. One would think that one would have to recuse themselves whilst doing that. But I mean, the funny business is ridiculous. I mean, I went. The 2000 election, I mean, I say that 2004 is when I really started getting into, maybe it wasn't 2000. No, it was the 2000, right before the 2000 election is when I actually started really getting into, politics. But, the 2000 election is when I started going and doing real deep dives into the law, like sometimes I do here on the show. And I went and did a deep dive on, the law and how, a protest phase works versus a context phase works, and was able to figure out why the conservatives were wrong in their messaging in about the whole thing, because they didn't understand what a protest phase was versus what a contest phase was, what you can do in the protest phase or what you could do in the contest phase. I don't know what the rules are the same, what the rules are now in Florida. I haven't looked up the most recent Florida election rules because there hasn't been that level of ridiculous shenanigans going on. But, that being said, the fact that you had so many, 10,000 votes thrown out that were false positives, where this person was not supposed to be a registered voter, but it was a false positive because they were basing it on names, and those 10,000 black voters that were kicked off the rolls, if only 10% of them were false. I mean, if only 10% of them, you only would have needed that. Or maybe it was 1,000. Anyway, regardless of how much it was, the amount of votes you would have needed to overturn the election was there in the amount of people that got wrongly kicked off the rolls. And then they just ignored that, and the Supreme Court was like, we're just going to hand it to Bush because it was stupid. But yeah. And I'll debate till I'm blue in the face over that, because people would want to say, you know, you're not over the why don't you get over the 2000 elections? Because it was a terrible Supreme Court ruling. It was one of many terrible Supreme Court rulings that took place, and that this one happened to change the course of the nation that should have been much different. Let's see. Young Turks thinks the whole thing was a conspiracy theory now. Anna will go something Israel, because Anna and Cenk are both morons and TERFs and horrible. It's almost like Eileen Cannon on the truck document case. Oh, wait. Well, that, to me, I mean, that is not as improbable as other things. I mean, you had 3 judges that the Eileen case, that the Trump case could have gone for when it came to the pretrial hearings. And then you had the same 3 judges that could have been in charge with, when it came to the actual trial. So you had a 1 1/3 shot to get Cannon in the first one, and then you had a 1 1/3 shot to get Cannon in the second one. So 1 in 9 shot overall to have it happen twice, to have her be the judge in both cases. So while 1 in 9 is definitely not something I'd bet on, it's much more reasonable of a thing of happening than many of the other things that go on. So, oh, Diane Morgan, Kunk on Afterlife, Ricky Gervais. Okay, fair enough. Yes, I was going to bring up that Jane Goodall did pass away today. So, yes, I was going to bring that up. You beat me by about a few minutes there, Big Hook. But yeah, I mean, the good ones pass away and the wrong ones stay alive. I'll just put it that way, right? What else? I'm gonna pin that one, Jolie. Date night for Cassie. Venmo at Liberal Dan. She deserves it. See, Jolie's a real one. So, yes, and that's true. I think I did talk about that Monday, but yes, I finished my physical therapy for my leg. At least I finished going to physical therapy. I still have to do the stretches at home in the next month, especially preparing myself for the next one. But yeah, I'm finished with inpatient, not inpatient, that's not the right word to say. I'm finished with an on premises in a physical therapy place, whatever. Word. I have the best words, no one has better words. I finish on tomorrow and Cassie finishes on Monday. So it's close, but I mean, for the fact that she's done this soon is still rather impressive. Everyone seems to be impressed about my progress as well, because again, I didn't have physical therapy for, I've been in physical therapy, 6 weeks, 7 weeks? I think it's exactly 6 weeks since I had my knee replaced, and I'm already done with physical therapy, at least seeing a physical therapist. That's the best way to put it, I guess. But she, wasn't walking at all, and came, and is now getting out of physical therapy Monday, and I could not be more proud of her progress. So, how about those generals that kept waiting for a flash mob or something? I think their new slogan would be "too fat to clap." Yeah, well, we're going to get to that in a second, because we are going to react to that video. I don't know. Even if I have to stretch it over 2 episodes, I'm gonna react to that video. But before reacting to that video, we are going to play a couple of clips of audio from Jeff Carreira's morning show yesterday, because this was hilarious. Let's see. My God, headline just appeared on my homepage. This is a choice certificate game. Who gets blamed for shutdown? Polls show nation is divided. Do your damn job, media. And exactly. Media. Yeah, the media doesn't do their job, and that's why we need new media. That's why the media is failing us. That's why I have that in my songs, that, we have a, corrupt media, corporate media won't, whatever, bite the hand that gives them meals. So, but anyway, so I called into Jeff Carreira's show, and my original reason for calling into Jeff Carreira's show is, I've already told y'all this on Monday, was that I was going to want to ask them their opinion about what was going on in the Middle East, and Donald Trump's 20-point plan, and his idea that those people should, people who are in charge of Hamas if they don't interfere, that they should get amnesty for their responsibility for the deaths that took place on 10/7. And if you remember, I said, A, that I wouldn't believe that if I was a member of Hamas, and therefore I wouldn't agree to the deal anyway, because why would I do that? And then I was also raised some other concerns as well. But I also said that they would go along with it, the conservatives would go along with it, except, had Biden done it, they would have flipped their lids. If the Biden would have suggested at all that we give amnesty to the people who were in charge of 10/7, you better believe that the conservatives would have shat bricks. But because Trump did it, it must be okay. Sounds song about that or something, right? But anyway, the first thing, when I was on hold, waiting to talk to both Jeff and Michelle, Michelle, who happens to be a member, I guess, of the Republican State Central Committee of Louisiana, and also a member of the, I think, St. Tammany Parish School Board, which is interesting because this person is in charge of, helping to make decisions for your kids. She was, while I was on hold, she was complaining about the fact, or appreciating the fact that football teams, organizations took the end racism off of the end zones, right? So I had to ask what the issue was. Now, I apologize for the audio because the audio is terrible, and oh my God, her voice is charming. Her voice is absolutely charming, just you wait. So here we go.
I also don't know what the problem would be with putting end racism in the end zone, because ending racism should be something that we should all get behind. But here's
well, there isn't any racism, and NFL.
There isn't any racism. There's none. It all disappeared, folks. It's all gone. No more racism. Just none. I guess if you don't look for it, if you have your eyes closed, I guess she's missing some object permanence too. There's no race. I think later on in the clip they said the Democrats are the real racists. So if there's no racism, how can the Democrats be the real racists? But that's why Donald Trump said he loved the poorly educated after the 2016 Nevada primaries. Let's continue with her charming voice.
NFL is not a political statement. It's called football and entertainment. That's why.
Ending racism shouldn't be a political statement, and there's plenty of racism that still goes on in this country.
Why should that be in football, Liberal Dan?
So, yeah, if you didn't hear what I said, I basically made the point that ending racism shouldn't be a political statement. And of course, why should it be in football?
Why should end racism be in football? It should be the name of the team.
It
should be the name of the team.
Why shouldn't it? Why shouldn't football teams fight racism?
It's a team. It's a team. It's football. It's football. It's football. It's football. Liberal Dan, it's football.
Okay.
It's football. It's entertainment.
Okay. Well, entertainment, I have no problem with people who are involved in entertainment wanting to end racism, which still exists alive and well. But anyway,
it's entertainment.
It's entertainment. It's football. It's entertainment. It's football. Yeah, okay. I mean, this is the type of people who I guess the Republicans like to elect for their school boards in, St. Tammany Parish. People who want to fight the simple statement of end racism. To me, if you don't like seeing the words end racism when anybody scores a touchdown, and, well, considering the fact that the New Orleans Saints are playing so horribly anyway, you're not going to have to see that logo very much on the field because you're not going to be anywhere near the end zone for much of the game. So you don't have to worry. You might see it on the other end zone with how terrible the Saints have been playing, but you're not going to see it on the Saints end zone. That's clear. But because it's almost bag over our head season. But yeah, if you are opposed to, people, if you're opposed to even seeing the term end racism during football games, you might very well be a racist. If you be Jeff Foxworthy. Yeah. Fred, glad she's not my neighbor. Won't you please, do not be my neighbor. Hi, neighbor. Anyway. Hold on. Why did that not ban? I don't know why that didn't ban. Anyway. There we go. It just didn't delete. Why are these MAGA voters, populist who Cenk wants to reach out to, have a beer with, and ally with? Yeah. Oh, are these the MAGA voters that Cenk wants to reach out to, have a beer with, and ally with? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they will talk about how Donald Trump is a so-called populist. You can't, to me, you can't be a billionaire and be a populist. It just doesn't. You can't be part of the ownership class and be a populist. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever at all. But yeah, these are the people that Cenk wants to have. I mean, remember, when it came to like debating or whatever, not Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk got out of his seat and started wanting to go attack frickin' Cenk Younger, but now Cenk Younger wants to have a beer with them or break bread with them. Well, if you're gonna have, what do they call 9 people having dinner with a known Nazi, 10 Nazis. That's how bad these people have gotten, and that's how bad the young TERFs have been. Steve, lying in bed, it's super duper late when Dan starts. Monday, I thought I was tired when I wasn't here. I was lying awake for hours and not sleeping. Typical. I'm sorry you're tired. Let's see. Tim, I'd hate to have a beer with Cenk and his fake outrage. Yeah, absolutely. We could flop on over the chat page so we can see more of the chat going on, although I am going to get rid of that thing because I think it is a bit distracting as well. So, yeah. My friend years back got mad at Bono at a U2 show because he got political. Shut up and play your songs. Yes, because U2 has never made a song about anything political. It's kind of like, this needs to be a little smaller, I guess. It's kind of like Rage Against the Machine, right? Rage Against the Machine, conservatives are like, why are they so political? Why this? Of course, they saying some of those who work forces are the same that burn crosses. But no, why do they have to be so political? Morons. Yes, Fred, yeah, TIT is definitely off my watch list as well because I cannot handle dealing with the young TERFs. It's just terrible. So anyway, let us go ahead. So I highly recommend you watch the Ezra Klein Ta-Nehisi Coates talk regarding his article tearing apart his CK commentary article. Definitely should watch that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. So normally I would record this, but I think this is going to be the majority of the video, maybe. I mean, we've already been on for 45 minutes-ish, so I don't know, we'll see. And if this takes too long, we'll just do half of it today and half of it tomorrow. But yeah, Steve, exactly. Sunday, Bloody Sunday. All the other songs that they're political about. Yes. Anyway, so let us flip on over to the alternative screen, and we will watch and react to the head of the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, and see what all the BS that he says.
Of our American military. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over.
That in and of itself should be enough to scare the living fuck out of everybody. No more Department of Defense, Department of War. And we've already been talking about that, but just hearing that is like, it's the end of the Department of Defense. We are the Department. Now look, I don't remember Congress ever passing anything officially changing the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. The administration just put out an executive order that said, we're just going to call it the Department of War as their nickname, but seems like they're not using it at all, except for, I guess maybe the name on the YouTube channel, right? But yeah, if that doesn't terrify you, the fact that they are so, this is supposed to be, I mean, I never believed it, but these people were telling us that, oh, Donald Trump is a peaceful president. He wants peace. But then why to call it the Department of War? That sounds like you're a frickin' warmonger. Which he is, but let's continue.
You see, the motto of my first platoon was those who long for peace must prepare for war.
Okay, must prepare for war doesn't mean you want war, doesn't mean you should be, celebrating it. It means you have to be prepared to deal with it, but you should also be working your damnedest to not have it.
This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington, the
Who he's basically taking out of context.
first leader of the War Department. It captures...
Of course, now we changed it to the Department of Defense after World War II because of how it looked, but still, you know, I don't even know if it officially was the War Department because we didn't even have a nation back then, but, you know, hey, at least when he was general.
A simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war.
You must be prepared to fight a war, yes, but it doesn't mean you should be actively pursuing it.
From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting. Preparing for war and preparing to win.
So there's no mission there to try and prevent war. There's no mission there to try and minimize the amount of times we have to go to war. I mean, I guess part of that would fall on the Department of State, but with how much his hands are involved with everything that Donald Trump is with all of his department heads, all of the heads of, you know, the Secretary of State, the Department of Defense, etc. With all of this, his meddling that he does in there and not letting other people do their jobs and, you know, micromanaging everything, you know, you would think that there would be some, you know, working there. And you would think there would be a natural working together between the Department of State and the Department of Defense when your goal was to have defense and not war. But no, their only mission right now is to wage war, which, again, should terrify the ever-living fuck out of everybody watching the show. Unfortunately, we don't have enough people watching it yet.
Unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we
Not compromising. No compromise whatsoever, right?
want war. No one here wants war.
Bullshit. If you didn't want war, if you didn't want war, you wouldn't change the name of the department to the Department of War. But you did. So you clearly must want it.
But it's because we love peace. We love
Bullshit.
peace for our fellow citizens.
But only for the fellow citizens. Not for anybody else, because they don't give a shit about people who are here legally, or even the people who are, you know, who we might be waging war against, or who the militaries were waging war against, and, you know, the collateral damage that might occur when we, you know, do these, prepare for the war. And the war that I would think that Pete Hegseth would want to have would be a war that basically shoots first and asks questions later. And I think he gets into a little bit of that later on in his speech. I haven't watched the whole thing, but... Oh, hello, Aaron! You're back from the NSYNC thing, I see.
They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it.
Yes, we expect our government to deliver peace. We do not expect our government to be a bunch of frickin' warmongers, but here we go.
Our number one job, of course, is...
Tim Farrell mods, Big Hook said one of the N-words. Because there are two N-words.
We can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are two N-words, and you can't use either of them.
Anyway, let's continue.
to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only...
Except Donald Trump is probably the weakest president that we've ever had, but, you know, sure, peace through strength. That's why we're going to get into wars, because Donald Trump has no backbone, has no spine, has no ability to actually know anything other than very simple, stupid stuff. And even then, it's questionable.
people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it.
Willing to fight and defend our rights is different than waging war. Waging war is a very attack-motivated, like, we have to attack, we have to strike first. It's Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. This guy probably watched, you know, The Karate Kid and cheered on, you know, Cobra Kai and Johnny Lawrence against Daniel LaRusso.
That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous.
Oh, pacifism's so terrible. It's so horrible to be a pacifist. Yeah, you're not a pacifist if you declare yourself, you know, a Department of War. And if you are going to say that pacifism is terrible, then that's why we don't trust it. You're not a warmonger.
It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone. It's a truth as old as time.
Truth as old as time. Bomb them in the east. Anyway.
And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic.
Blood and treasure. Treasure. It sounds like, we're going to go, God, we're going to get some pirates and going to go after all the wenches and the gold. Ugh. Treasure. I mean, ridiculous. Treasure. Who even thinks to word it that way? It's just so weird.
A military that will win any war we choose, or any war that is thrust upon us.
We should only be wanting any war that is thrust on us. We shouldn't be choosing war unless it's a last result, whatever. But our military was great before Donald Trump ever took office. Our military could have defeated any other military or a combination of militaries on the planet when Clinton was president, when Bush was president, when Obama was president, when Biden was president, and yes, when Trump is president. Because we have the most powerful military in the whole damn world. One of our, what is it, in the Navy, one of our carrier groups has more firepower in it than the navies of the rest of the world combined, and we have like 7 or 8 that are actively operational. At least it was the case when I learned that statistic way back when. Maybe there's more now, maybe there's fewer now, who knows. But yeah, let's continue.
Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O.
Was it 4 people responded to that? Like crickets in the audience? I mean, come on.
If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is.
And Trump has had nothing to do with that. He has not improved that one bit. He hasn't changed that one bit. That was the case before he ever took office. It's the case after.
True, full stop. Nobody can touch us. It's not even close. This is true largely because of the historic investments that he made in his first term.
No, it was true before he ever took office again, and it will be true after he leaves.
And we will continue in this term. But it's also true because of the leaders in this room.
A church at every game. Holy shit, he reminds me of every rich fat boy asshole that I knew in college. Frat boy, not fat boy. We'll get to the fat people in a second. But yeah, it just is just, ugh.
And the incredible troops that you all lead. But the
unless you're a fatty. Sorry, bearing the lead. I'm sure most of y'all have seen that anyway.
World, and as the chairman mentioned, our enemies get a vote. You feel it, I feel it. This is a moment of urgency, mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow. There is no time for games. We must be prepared. If we're going to prevent and avoid war, we must prepare now.
Sure, we should always be prepared, and I don't think we were ever ill-prepared for war. They're trying to make you think that we were to justify their terrible actions, especially when Donald Trump says we should be able to use the military against the enemies within.
We are the strength part of peace through strength.
Yeah, a frickin' lush who, doesn't even have the strength to not cheat on his wife, allegedly. He is the one to tell us about strength, right?
And either we're ready to win or we are not.
And we've never not been ready to win.
You see, this urgent moment, of course, requires more troops, more munitions, more drones, more...
Dean Baker, he's still not as evil as Stephen Miller. Yes, but that's a very low bar to set. Or high. One of the two.
Patriots, more submarines, more B-21 bombers. It requires more innovation, more AI in everything, and ahead of the curve.
And keep your mind on that one. It requires more innovation, more AI, more other things. We'll get to why he will contradict himself later.
More cyber effects, more counter-UAS, more space, more speed. America is the strongest, but we need to get stronger and quickly.
I mean, what is he, Ricky Bobby? I want to go fast.
The time is now, and the cause is urgent.
The time is up. Your time is now. Sorry.
The moment requires restoring and refocusing our defense industrial base, our shipbuilding industry, and onshoring all critical components. It requires, as President Trump has done, getting...
Look, I will agree that it's probably best for our security to onshore all of the components that are critical for the operation of our military, including our ships, including our tanks and our planes, and etc. That is not an incorrect statement, but of course Joe Biden was helping to do that with his CHIPS, plan and moving the production of facilities here into the United States. But nobody on the right will admit that, even though they'll take credit for it when it happens under them, even though it was implemented and passed under Biden.
Our allies and partners to step up and share the burden. America cannot do everything. The free world requires...
Yes, he can.
...allies with real hard power, real military leadership, and real military capabilities. The War Department is tackling and prioritizing all of these things. And I'll be giving a speech next month that'll showcase the speed, innovation, and generational acquisition reforms we are undertaking urgently.
And we're going to invite everybody back here and spend a ridiculous amount of money on something that could have been done as a PowerPoint, or Zoom meeting. But hey, whatever.
Likewise, the nature of the threats we face in our hemisphere and in deterring China is another speech for another day. Coming soon.
I'm surprised they don't have like a MAGA flag up there next to the U.S. flag.
This speech today, as I drink my coffee.
Did he really need to say, as I drink my coffee? Like, I think we all understood. I mean, did he want us to make sure that we didn't know that maybe we thought that he would be taking, like, a little bit of the whiskey or something? I mean, it could be an Irish coffee. Who the hell knows? But, he had to tell us, as I drink my coffee.
Speech today is about people. And it's about culture.
Of which I have none.
The topic today is about the nature of ourselves. Because no plan, no program, no reform, no formation will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people and the right...
Did he say unless we have the white people or the right people? Because that's coming next too.
Culture at the War Department.
It's impeccable living.
If I've learned...
Good to see you, impeccable living.
Oh my.
Anyway, let's continue with him.
One core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel is policy.
He's already been there 8 months. That's just terrifying. Yeah, Trucker John, exactly. It was probably an Irish coffee.
Personnel is policy. The best way to take care of troops is to give them good leaders committed to the warfighting culture of the department. Not perfect leaders, good leaders. Competent.
Did anybody want perfect? I mean, we should never let the perfect be the enemy of the good, but, we're going to see where he goes with this in a second because it's terrifyingly dangerous.
Qualified, professional, agile, aggressive, innovative, risk-taking, apolitical, faithful to their oath and to the Constitution.
Risk-taking and faithful to their oath may very well be incompatible with each other, but let's go on.
Eugene Sledge, in his World War II memoir, wrote, quote, "War is brutish, inglorious, and a terrible waste. Combat leaves an indelible mark on those who are forced to endure it. The only redeeming factors are my comrades' incredible bravery and their devotion to each other."
Let's see. Trusted Every Game, tell me, Pete, is gutting vet benefits conducive to this flowery warrior culture bullshit you're spewing? Because that's what you did, pretty much. I mean, he probably thinks, well, we're going to get the people who want to go out and kill people, so we don't need to give them benefits because the benefit they'll see is that they want to go and kill people instead of, actually wanting to save people's lives, because that's what I am absolutely convinced that these people are going